Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm starting a mini series of videos about web scraping. The idea will be to pull data from websites directly into Excel. And today we're going to do this using what I believe is the easiest approach, the Pandas library in Python. I've already opened a Jupyter notebook, and to use Pandas we first need to install this library, which I think I've already done, but in case you haven't, you can run this command pip install pandas. If I click Ctrl Enter, it's going to say that this requirement was already satisfied. So I'm going to insert a new cell and I can write here import pandas as pd. And now we need a website to use as an example. Usually, before scraping a website, it is recommended to have the owner's permission to avoid violating any terms of service. Since you are watching this video, you have my full authorization to use my website for any data automation practices and exercises. And my website is lazydatadev.com, which by the way I launched quite recently in November of 2025, and I'm still collecting some honest feedback. So if you have any feedback or recommendations for improvement, then you can drop a comment in the video, or you can of course contact me via email. Now the idea will be to find some data in a tabular format, and therefore let's go to the YouTube section, and here there is a table which I will be updating with each new video that I post on my YouTube channel. So we have, I think, about 14 or 15 rows now. And of course, by the time you're watching this video, there will probably be more rows and 4 columns. So I want to pull this data first with Pandas and eventually into Excel. So let's copy here the URL, and I'm going to declare a variable here, which I will call URL, and paste here the URL of this page. Then I can write that tables will be equal to pd.read_html and pass the URL variable. Now I need to underline here that this will only work if the table is not injected via JavaScript. If the table was injected with JavaScript, then other tools will have been needed. But in my case, in my side, that's not the case, so this will return a list of all tables that are available on my, in this case, on this page. I only have one table, but first let's prove that it's going to return a list. So we can write here print and print the type of tables. It says that it's list, and then we can check how many items we have in this list using the len function. So it says that it's only one. And since it's only one, then we can use it, we can reach it using its index number. So I can directly then write df as data frame. This will be equals to tables and pass here its index number 0. And now to see what is the shape of this data frame or how many rows and columns we have, we can write df.shape and click Ctrl Enter, and this will return a tuple of the number of rows and number of columns. And as mentioned, by the time you're watching this video, I expect that there will be at least 20 or maybe more rows. Now if I want to see the data here, and let's say I want first to see the first 5 rows, then we can use the head method. And then if I want to get the last 5 rows, then we can use the tail method. And since we only have 15 rows, then I can directly show the entire table. And now at this stage, usually in corporate world, many people would ask, can I export this to Excel? And actually, there are many memes over the internet, and I think some of them are quite funny. So if you're asking yourself, can I export this to Excel? Then the answer is yes. And it's actually really easy with Pandas because there is this to_Excel method. And now all we need to do is pass here the name of the file that we want to be created. So if I call this videos.xlsx, it's going to create a videos file. And in this case, it's going to be stored in the same folder where my Jupyter notebook is. However, for demonstration purposes, I've created an empty folder. So I'm going to copy its folder path, and going back to the Jupyter notebook, I'm going to create a variable here, file name, and pass here a row string. And I'm going to add here videos.xlsx. So here I'm going to pass the file name variable, and maybe we can write here print, and I'm going to write here that file name has been created. So let's click Control Enter now. It immediately says that the file has been created, and if I go back to my folder, we can see that the file has indeed been created, but there is one little bug, I would say. Actually, it's not a bug, but we don't need here the index of the rows coming from Pandas, since Excel has its row index anyway. So I will close this and go back to the Jupyter notebook, and here the to_Excel method also has this argument index, which by default is true. So if we change this to false and rerun the script, and if I open the file again, then we will no longer have the rows from Pandas. So this is going to be it for today. In the next video, we will apply some sorting and filtering. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, then please drop them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.